Greetings and salutations. It is I, Professor Macabro, accompanied by my lovely bony lady, Zombie Wesitos, and we are here to regale you with another bare bones, easy peasy, lemon squeezy movie review. No storylines, no fancy editing, no special effects, just me and you talking about horror movies. Oh, takes me back to the olden days of my channel. And it's good to go back to simple videos that I hope you enjoy. Yes, indeed. Still have a couple of days left in November and my reign as YouTube entertainer for the month of November 2023. So I hope you find these videos and all the content that's been pumped out on this channel entertaining. And again, thank you for letting me have that honor. My second award, thanks to you beautiful people out there. But since I am back among the living and I am back in my physical form with my beautiful physical media, I wanted to revisit a couple of horror movies. Yes, indeed. We already talked about the wedding disaster movie that was Rec 3 Genesis, which I still highly recommend. But I was also in the mood for a creature feature. So I went back to the library, and I also wanted something with the Baconator. Baconator himself, Kevin Bacon. The person that you can do that old 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon with, and it's such a fun game if you are able to find people that are knowledgeable in movies, and you can reach back to Kevin Bacon. It's a fun game, I tell you what. But I wanted to talk about Tremors. Oh, such a good creature feature. Yes, indeed. I love this movie. I love it so much. The movie's about these two handymen that are living and working in the small dirt town of Perfection. It's this fictional little town. Honestly, I don't know how these people survive. It doesn't seem like to be that big of a community. The cast of characters is very small. You have a goat farmer. You have a town drunk. You have the guy from Big Trouble in Little China running a convenience store. You got Kevin Bacon and his pal doing odd jobs. You have this chick that's the mom of the girl from Jurassic Park. You have a doctor that lives in a farm. And you have Bert and Reba McEntire as the survivalist living in this place. So it's not that big of a town. Honestly, I don't know how they make any money in this place. But Kevin Bacon and his pals, like, we gotta get out of this town. And they always try to get away, but they are always pulled back. Until one day they're like, fuck it, let's get the fuck out of this place. And they do. They don't get very far because they encounter these kind of like snake things that are coming through the ground and eating people, which unfortunately are just like the tentacle tongue of a death worm which they call the graboids. And oh my goodness, I love the design of the graboids. Again, they're these giant death worms that tunnel through the underground and they pull people in. And it's as far as monster design goes, the graboids are really, really cool. I like the practical effect that these things that they use for these things, and they look amazing. The practical effects is something that I miss in modern movies. Everything's all CGI, and you do have your occasional movie that has practical effects, and they look glorious. But I feel that, I really do feel that movies would work better if you find a nice balance between CGI and practical effects. Use practical effects whenever you can, and then maybe enhance it through CGI. Like, if you have a really cool suit, but you can't get the animatronics to work, or you don't want to invest in animatronics, well, you could use CGI to make the thing blink or snarl, or have a different look, but don't go full CG. Full CG is never going to compare to having actually something to interact with and talk with and bounce off. It's just, I miss practical effects in movies, which again, They are out there, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be. I mean, I watch something like this that has these badass practical effect death worms, and it makes me sad. Oh, sniff, sniff. But yes, Kevin Bacon and his pal are trying to warn people of these graboids, and eventually they're holed up because there's 3 graboids hunting everyone down, you see. And they are fighting back against these things, which are a lot smarter than they originally thought. They plan. They have the tactics that they use to get these people. And it's a really intense moment where they're trying to figure out ways to survive. And then the grabbers are like, fuck your plans. We're gonna mess your shit up. And mess it up. They do. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, these graboids are smart motherfuckers. Smarter than the people. Although I do have to question how these people don't dehydrate. They're in this desert town where it doesn't seem like they have that much water. And there are in very long periods under the sun without anything to drink. You would think they would evaporate with all the heat that they have. I also like the look of the movie. It's very hot. You can feel the heat, and everything's dusty. And I like that. I like that a lot. But I do question how people don't have chapped lips or something like that. The makeup department or the people that run the continuity of that might have done a better job of that. But I'm done the complaining. It's not a knockoff on the movie. It's just something that my brain can't seem to turn off and nitpick about movies that I love. Like, I mean, I can't go an hour without wanting something to parch my throat. I can't imagine being hours on end under the sun without having something to drink and not having your lips parched. But anyway, I digress. Yes, but Kevin Bacon was the main guy in this. He's front and center in this. And then this movie was so successful and so much loved that it released a new franchise. And the second one, it follows Kevin Bacon's friend who's still stuck in perfection. But after that, the person that steals the show is, I think his name is Bert. And he just ran through the series. And props to that actor. I know he was an actor from a TV show that I don't remember. But his character of Bert was a big part in this one. He's a survivalist that has all sorts of big-ass guns that he uses to kill them. And he kind of got a little bit overboard as the series went on with more deadly, bigger weapons. His wife is Reba McEntire, and she unfortunately doesn't come back in the sequels. I like their relationship in this first one with Bert and Reba McEntire. But they explain that she left him, and then he's only there, but he's like the survivalist with the big-ass guns, and then he just takes control of the series. And the TV show, yes, Tremors had a TV show, the Back to Perfection, where they fight different versions of the graboids and humans. They're trying to take advantage of the graboids. And you have a hero version of the graboids, which is this albino, a white graboid, which helps Bert from time to time. And because he seems to be sterile, he doesn't create the Assbusters or the other versions of the graboids. But yes, until his unfortunate demise in the last Tremor movies, Bert was the main character. After the second one, they did a prequel in the Old West, where there's an ancestor of Bert that looks exactly like him. But good stuff, good series. The later ones that introduced Jamie Kennedy, well, those are debatable whether or not they're good. I like them for what they were, but unfortunately they did start using a lot of the CGI, which I'm not a fan of. But Bert had a really cool death in the last one, and I haven't heard if they're going to continue this series. I hope they do, but I think the actor that played Bert, that was his swan song. But I don't want Jamie Kennedy to take the reins of the Tremor series. So, would I be okay with them rebooting it? as long as they do it well with practical effects. Sure, Kevin Bacon for a while also wanted to do a reboot, much like in Halloween, where they kind of ignored the series, which I hope they don't do, because Burt did so much in that series that erasing what he did would kind of be like a slap in the face. But I don't think that materialized. I think the pilot was recorded, but it wasn't picked up. I don't know what happened with that Kevin Bacon Tremors TV show, but this gave us a lot of really cool movies, in my opinion. And again, the Graboids, which are really freaking cool looking death worms, which I very much enjoyed. So, Tremors, check it out. 2 is pretty good, and then everything after Burt I liked. But again, that last one was kind of hit or miss because of the CGI effects. So sad. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little review of an amazing movie that if you haven't checked out, definitely check out. We have a couple of more movie reviews coming your way before we hit full-on gear on December, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think of Tremors, any one of the movies in the series, in the comments down below. But until we see you again next time, this has been Professor Macabro and Zombie Huesitos, thanking you and wishing you, like always, a good evening.